Hi, I'm Erin Templeton, and I'm a professor of English at Converse College, and I wrote the introduction to Zelda Fitzgerald's novel Save Me the Waltz, published by Handheld Press. I'm going to be reading a passage to you now from the novel, and the passage that I'm going to read is from chapter 1, and our main character, Alabama Beggs, is about to go on a date with the man that she will eventually marry. Through the summer, Alabama collected soldiers' insignia. By autumn, she had a glove box full. No other girl had more, and even then she'd lost some. So many dances and rides, and so many golden bars and silver bars and bombs and castles and flags, even a serpent to represent them all in her cushioned box. Every night, she wore a new one. Alabama quarreled with Judge Beggs about her collection of bric-a-brac, and Millie laughed and told her daughter to keep all those pins, that they were pretty. It turned cold as it ever gets in that country. That is to say, the holiness of creation misted the lonesome green things outside. The moon glowed and sputtered nebulous as pearls in the making. Night picked itself a white rose. In spite of the haze and the clouds in the air, Alabama waited for her date outside, pendulously tilting the old swing from the past to the future, from dreams to surmises and back again. A blonde lieutenant, with one missing insignia, mounted the Beggs' steps. He had not bought himself a substitute because he liked imagining the one that he'd lost in the Battle of Alabama to be irreplaceable. There seemed to be some heavenly support beneath his shoulder blades that lifted his feet from the ground in a static suspension, as if he secretly enjoyed the ability to fly, but was walking as a compromise to convention. Green gold under the moon, his hair lay in Selenian frescoes and fashionable porticos over his dented brow. Two hollows over his eyes, like the ends of mysterious bolts of fantasy, held those expanses of electric blue to the inspiration of his face. The pressure of masculine beauty, equilibrated for 22 years, had made his movements conscious and economized as the steps of a savage transporting heavy load of rocks on his head. "You ready already? Why outdoors?" he called. It was chilly in the mist to be swinging outside. "Daddy has the blight, and I have retired from the field of action." "What particular iniquity have you committed?" "Oh, he seems to feel for one thing, that the army has a right to its epaulets." "Isn't it nice that parental authority is going to pieces with everything else?" "Perfect. I love conventional situations." They stood on the frosted porch in the sea of mist, quite far from each other, yet Alabama could have sworn that she was touching him, so magnetic were their two pairs of eyes. And songs about summer love, I hate this cold weather. And blonde men on their way to the country club. The clubhouse sprouted inquisitively under the oaks like a squat clump of bulbs piercing leaves in the spring. The car drew up the gravel drive, poking its nose in a round bed of cannas. The ground around the place was as worn and used as the plot before a children's playhouse. The sagging wires about the tennis court, the peeling drab green paint of the summer house on the first tee, the trickling hydrant, the veranda thick in dust, all flavored of the pleasant atmosphere of a natural growth. It's too bad that a bottle of corn liquor exploded in one of the lockers just after the war and burned the place to the ground. So much of the theoretical youth, not just transitory early years, but the projections and escapes of inadequate people in dramatic times, had wedged itself beneath the low-hung rafters, that the fire destroying the shrine of wartime nostalgia may have been a case of combustion from emotional saturation. Alabama and the lieutenant lingered beside the door. "I'm going to lay a tablet to the scene of our first meeting," he said. Taking out his knife, he carved in the doorpost. "David," the legend read. "David, David, night, night, night." And Miss Alabama, nobody.